You have four
Okay.
archetypes, right?
Yeah.
Warrior, lover, king, queen, and hero. And I love
Mhm.
that you're playing with that, like the warrior and the lover. Let's talk about what each one of them is,
Sure.
and then let's talk about like, how can you embody both? Because women, I think it's the hardest thing for us to. Well, I don't know. It might be hard for guys as well, right? Like, because strong and feminine. How do you do them both? So, how do you do them both?
Yeah. So we'll get into that because that's really what makes that heroic leader, right? Is being
Yeah.
able to balance kind of both of those. So whenever I do this, the first thing I always preface this with, look, I'm going to use the terms masculine and feminine in this. Okay. When I say masculine and feminine, I'm talking about the qualities, the energies, the characteristics that are in all of us. I have masculine and feminine in me. You have masculine and feminine in you. I'm not saying male, female. I'm not saying boy, girl. It doesn't mean one's better than the other. It's they're equal forces, right? So I want everyone to kind of understand that. If you picture the yin yang symbol, you'll get it completely. There is a duality, right? There's both. So the warrior, to get into the four archetypes real quick, we won't spend a whole lot of time on it, but to get into the four archetypes, the warrior, that's your strength, your power, your drive. That's that masculine force. The warrior is the one that gets us past those challenges that I talked about. That's
Right.
the one that gets us through, these times that we're going through. That's the warrior is the one that says, all right, there's a pandemic, money is tight, I'm going to make this work. Right? That's that driving force. So, there are some words that go along with warrior. Now, understand when I talk about any of these, there are two types of characteristics for each. When I talk about warrior and lover, I'm going to give you both. So they're empowering and limiting. You can be coming from your empowering warrior. That's the one that says, I'm going to get through this no matter what. Doesn't matter what it takes. That is your drive, your power, your boldness, your adventurer. That's the one that gets you through. The limiting side of the warrior, and we see this on the masculine, limiting masculine side, would be being controlling, abusive, the bully. That's the one that during this kind of situation would be, I'm taking everything for myself.
Right.
Nobody else matters. It's only about me, right? That would be the limiting on the warrior side.
So
Sure,
how do you know if
fear.
it's a lack mentality or just a limiting warrior belief?
Yeah, I mean, and it is. Lack is one of those. So it's just
Yeah.
a fear, right?
A
There's a
fear,
fear
yeah.
base. There isn't going to be any more scarcity. I don't know what's going to happen,
Right.
right? I always think about the word scarcity because it's got scare in it, right? There's fear based in scarcity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's part of it. And so like I said, the warrior, lover, king, they can all be limiting or empowering. And the key thing is, and we talked about this a minute ago, is taking that step back and seeing which one am I being right now. I know I'm in warrior mode because this is what's going on, but am I being empowering, positive? Or am I being limiting, negative? Okay, so that we'll do that through
Okay,
both
so
of these.
hold on. So can you bullshit yourself? Because we are very good at this, right?
Sure. Well, you can and you can't because here's the thing. This is going to screw with you all the time.
Right.
We would say the mind is your biggest enemy,
Yeah.
right? The ego, the mind, that's going to be your biggest enemy. Your heart is always going to tell you the truth, right? So a really empowered warrior comes from here. Really empowered lover comes from here. Kings and queens speak from the heart. You've seen this, right? They're not talking out of their head. They're talking from the heart. And so that's really, if you're bullshitting yourself, it's coming from here. That's check number one. Am I coming from my head or am I really feeling into what's the best thing right now, right? How much do I really need? Am I hoarding or am I getting what I need because I know there'll be more coming, right?
Yeah.
That kind of mentality. Yeah. So the lover, I mean, warrior for most of us is really easy, right? And especially for men. I shouldn't say not women, but men really can tap into their warrior really well. And you and I had a conversation earlier about, women finding their warrior. Women are amazing at finding their warrior, right?
Yeah.
We talked about, you had the word conquering came up and you said, I don't know as a woman if I've ever conquered. And I said, well, you conquer fear,
Yeah.
right? You conquered what you had to do to get this show going. So you can tap into that. That's usually easy for us. The lover then becomes, it's a little bit harder for men, but the lover is
Don't
really
we know it?
What's that?
Don't we know it?
Well, that's a different show.
That's right.
Do that one next time, okay? But for purposes of this in leadership, the lover is really coming from here, right? That's when you learn to really come from the heart. That's where passion comes from. That's the real empowering feminine force. So if we lead with the masculine, that drive, that ambition, that all of that stuff that gets us moving forward, the lover is what comes in behind it and really gets everything growing, flourishing, thriving. That all comes in behind it. So you have this creativity and this passion and this nurturing, this wisdom. That's all from the lover, and that really is what comes in and makes things happen. Right? The warrior part of you taps in, breaks through the inertia, crushes all the challenges you have, overcomes the obstacles, and then that lover comes in and lets everything kind of grow and flourish. So if you look at it that way, it's a really powerful combination, leading with your warrior, coming in, supporting with your lover. And again, lover has empowering and limiting as well, right? So some of the empowering things, and I'm looking at my little cheat sheet here for a second, but it's, wise, supportive, empathetic, devoted, creative, playful, all those fun things. The limiting side is that needy, whiny, withholding, helpless, right? So we talked about, what do you do when there's fear? You can either tap into, I'm feeling really helpless right now. I don't know what to do.
Right.
I'm looking for a leader. I want the government to tell me what to do.
Right.
Versus, I'm going to get creative and then tap back into my warrior and make something happen.